Welcome to the People Dividend Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Horne, and I am happy that we're launching season 7. This is the first episode, and I thought I'd do something special for all of you who are listening today, and that is to recap season 6 of the People Dividend. Season 6 was very special because we ushered in a change from podcast titles. We moved from Authentic Change with Mike Horne to the People Dividend. And it's been an absolute blast in terms of the information we've been able to convey, the guests that we've interviewed, the good wishes that you've shared with me. I'd encourage you as we dig into season 6 in this recap, for you to visit me at mike-horne.com, where you will find lots of great resources to enhance your professional journey and to become part of the People Dividend movement. This is an important opportunity as we develop and illuminate humanistic values in management and how those make organizations run effectively, efficiently, and with authentic leadership at the heart. So again, it's been an incredible journey. I'm going to take a chance to look at some of my notes as we recap season 6, because we've had so many fascinating guests, and I really don't want to miss any of the unique insights that they've shared, the experiences, the knowledge they've offered to everyone who's listening and to all of the listeners throughout the journey. What I'd encourage you to do is, if you have a moment, to visit the studios for the podcast, wherever you may find this, whether it's on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, is to go ahead and give us a like, leave us a comment. I'm really grateful for all of that. And it helps build and continue the enthusiasm for our podcast, The People Dividend, ranked in the top 10% of global podcasts. And I just saw a number recently in the top 200 in a particular category of podcast listening. So ever so grateful for listeners, for all of you, for taking time to tune in each week as we produce a new episode. And you'll find lots more content available at mike-horne.com. And you can also email me if you'd like to, mike@mike-horne.com. But again, let's take a look at this lineup of fascinating guests that we had for the People Dividend in season 6. I'm just going to go through our guests in the order they appeared in season 6, and to again remind you just how much I'm looking forward to season 7 and continuing what I hope is a great experience for you in terms of making organizations the best that they can be, by bringing ourselves, by bringing the best of who we are to what we do in organizations, and really cultivating the kind of greatness that people and organizations are capable of when using the principles of the People Dividend. I'll just take a moment, too, to say that I'm so excited that this fall we'll launch my new book, The People Dividend, Leadership Strategies for Unlocking Potential. It will build on the concepts that we laid out in Living with Integrity, authentic leadership strategies. So it's a great way to continue your journey with all of the folks who are on this People Dividend journey about getting more, getting the best from everyone in an organization or on a team, and for yourself as well. You'll remember that I offer services in executive coaching and in organization development, and I welcome a conversation with you. But, when you're ready, take a look at the great content that's available. You'll find all of our podcasts on mike-horne.com. You'll find our ebooks there as well, but more about that a little bit later as well. We started off season 6 with Dr. Randy Ross by discussing leadership and the art of cultivating thriving workplace cultures. And I know for all of the HR leaders in the audience and for our culture enthusiasts, this was a great way to start the season. Dr. Randy Ross shared his approach to relational leadership, that emphasize the characteristics and traits and elements that I know are so important to you: trust, respect, genuine connections, and how do we do all of that in the workplace? He offered a lot of practical advice, and I think there's something there for both aspiring and seasonal people and culture leaders. Then we went to one of what I think was one of the most fascinating interviews for season 6, and that was with Dr. Lee Cordell. Lee is an organization trauma specialist. She talks about trauma in organizations, and many people bring their own personal trauma in organizations. So she's working on equipping leaders with the skills to deal with this and to extending these thoughts about trauma to an organizational setting. Again, lots of actionable insights on creating supportive and empathetic work environments, essential for individual well-being and organizational success. It's a great episode with Dr. Lee Cordell, something different, something new. I'd encourage you to take a listen on it. Then we moved on to Sugey Piedra, who told a story from her story, the child of immigrant parents. And she's a tax accountant, a financial professional. And she really offered lots of tips on diversity and inclusion, not only in that field, but the episode was right around tax time in the US and gave us a lot of different thoughts on diversity, inclusion, tax, cultural competence, and how to truly foster. She talked about her own team, about truly fostering an inclusive environment. I was so delighted also to have as a guest on Authentic Change, Debra Boggs, who is an executive search consultant. We got to share a lot of stories from my experiences on the other side of the bench when I led human resources functions and human resources teams. We talked about executive search, but she gave a lot of very good and insightful tips on resume building, job searching, how to navigate career transitions, so many things that are so important to so many of my clients with whom to whom I coach. So her advice on personal branding, leveraging LinkedIn to career opportunities was really useful. And it's another place I'd encourage you to visit me is on LinkedIn. I publish a weekly newsletter on LinkedIn. It's lots of information. Now, if you register for my on mike-horne.com, you can subscribe there, and you'll get content that extends beyond what I do on LinkedIn, exclusive content, a weekly newsletter. You'll get all of the resources, our ebooks, our podcasts, our articles, our blogs that will be delivered to you weekly, as well as additional exclusive content. So I encourage you to visit me at mike-horne.com. Write to me at mike@mike-horne.com, and let me get you connected with this exclusive content on the People Dividend, on authentic leadership, on bringing your best to who you are, to what you do. I also had as a guest following Debra Boggs, Brad Smith, and Brad offered a lot of unique insights stemming from formative experiences he had as a young man. And I think he really laid the foundation for a new way of thinking about business development, growth strategies, the importance of innovation, customer-centric thinking, and agile methodologies in driving business success. So it's a good listen. Brad Smith, a unique story and interesting perspective. And that led me to Jordan Tait, the next guest on season 6 of the People Dividend. Jordan and I were in a class together, learning how to create relationships, build our business. And Jordan is an expert on helping entrepreneurs and founders do more in less time to really reclaim some of their time. He's probably an advocate of the 4-day work week. He's a guy that brings his practices to his own work. And I think you'll find it very rewarding to tune into that particular podcast, to listen to Jordan's approaches to really excelling with the time that you have available and to do more in less time. It's a great listen with Jordan Tait, a Canadian who offers lots of relationships too with mental health and how this moves into organizational policies relative to time. Also had another Canadian that followed Jordan Tait right after that episode aired, and that was Martin Lespérance. And he really focuses on the power of storytelling in business. And it's a great, uplifting, motivating session where I think that you'll find that his drift, his take on storytelling and how to put that into your leadership arsenal really tells you how powerful it is to have a story and to be able to tell that story. So it's a great episode with Martin Lespérance. And then following that episode, I interviewed Al Watts, an organization development consultant, someone with whom I feel a particular kindred spirit, talking about community building, advocacy, shedding light on how businesses can positively impact their communities and build meaningful relationships. Al really shared his success stories, lots of practical advice on responsibility, social responsibility in organizations, and how to strengthen communities. So I'd encourage you to listen to that episode with organization development consultant, expert Al Watts. And then the next episode was with a colleague at Golden Gate University, where I teach and lead the graduate program in human resources management and run our leadership studies courses. Dr. Nicole Jackson spoke extensively on organizational breathing. It's an interesting concept relative to change management and how we think about buy-in, adaptability, and communication during transitional periods. I've had the opportunity to collaborate with Nicole on a few projects, and this really gives a lot of insight into the great ways that she's innovating and thinking about organization behavior and leadership. So really just some great insights there on organizational breathing, on change management. Also followed by another academic, Bruno Cignacco, and who talked about a deep exploration of customer-centric business practices and emphasizing the importance of empathy. Not only empathy, but also understanding customer needs, providing strategies to enhance customer satisfaction and loyalty. And then we moved into a podcast episode with Alice Inoue, a Hawaiian, who it's a great interview. Alice shares her wisdom on holistic wellness and life balance, saying, how do we integrate mindfulness into our daily routines and maintain productivity without sacrificing our well-being? So, here we go. I mean, with this list of, with this great category, with this great group of participants, guests, Randy Ross, Lee Cordell, Sugey Piedra, Debra Boggs, Brad Smith, Jordan Tait, Martin Lespérance, Al Watts, Nicole Jackson, Bruno Cignacco, Alice Inoue. And then the season continued. And one of the brainiacs that I had a chance of interviewing was CEO Nick Jain. Nick graduated at the top of his class, recipient of the Baker Award at Harvard Business School. A very smart guy discussing the future of technology and innovation and what it's like to be a youthful CEO in Manhattan. A very forward-thinking perspective on how emerging technologies are shaping industry and lots of insights on staying ahead and working collaboratively with others. The interview with Nick Jain is just super spot on. And that brought me to a little bit of a different take with Eileen McDargh, who was the next guest on the People Dividend. I was introduced to Eileen by a longtime friend and colleague, Beverly Kay, best-selling author, inventor of the organization career development space. And she introduced me to Eileen, who told some very personal stories and concentrated on the themes of resilience and leadership, and offered multiple strategies on building resilient teams, navigating challenges with both grace and strength. And the episode is just filled with actionable advice that Eileen provides. A great episode. And then we moved on to sort of back to another aspect of the business world with Wall Street Journal best-selling author Alex Brueckmann on strategy. And it's all about strategic leadership and all about what organizations and teams need to do to build strategy. He shares so many frameworks and different tools about aligning teams to achieve long-term goals. And his insights into strategic planning and execution were particularly helpful to me, a longtime practitioner, consultant in these areas to executive teams. I'm working with a client currently on strategic planning, and I think I benefited from Alex's insights onto strategy and planning, and just an excellent interview with Alex Brueckmann. Learn about him and motorcycles as well. Then we moved on to an episode with Rachel Kindt, Dr. Rachel Kindt, rhymes with Lindt, like Lindt chocolates, a successful biopharma executive who went on to sell her company, or a company where she was employed, and now is working as an executive coach with scientists, with scientific leadership. And she really delves into the science of human behavior and performance, and her research-based insights provide a deeper understanding of what drives success and how individuals, particularly leaders in science, can optimize their performance. It's very dear to my heart as I work with a lot of scientists in my own practice. Scientists and engineers make up the bulk of my clients, particularly my coaching clients and their teams. I've had the opportunity to coach science-based CEOs and founders, the opportunities to work with leaders of research and development teams as a consultant, helping them to redesign their organizations. So lots of power in this interview, and I think it's a nice way that we were able to blend so many ideas in the interview with Rachel Kindt. That led to an interview with Jonathan Bennett, another Canadian. And Jonathan talked a lot about authenticity and trust and how we find that ethical leadership in organizations and what that means. It is a riveting interview about values-driven leadership, and he explores his own values and how those come into play in his coaching and consulting work. So really just a great way to think about if you need some practical advice on ethical leadership, on bringing values into your work. It's a great episode with Jonathan Bennett on the People Dividend in season 6. Next, I had as a guest Dr. Richard Safir, a physician turned employee wellness, or maybe evolved is the better word, employee wellness advocate and leader. Dr. Safir is at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, where he leads workplace wellness. He has so many practical tips. I love the title of his recent book, which was A Cure for the Common Company. It's a great play on words, but it's a fascinating interview for those interested in promoting workplace wellness, what we need to do, how we embody that personally, and move it to an organizational space. Dr. Safir was followed by Dr. Stephen Stein, an expert in EQ and emotional intelligence, one of the national leaders, maybe one of the world's leaders on emotional intelligence, following the work of Daniel Goleman. And I think one of the things that's unique about Dr. Stephen Stein is his work on reality TV and how he often brings his expertise in as a consultant in EI to reality TV shows and their producers and the actors on those shows, those who participate in those shows. It's a great episode to tune up your skills in EQ and to learn more about Dr. Steven Stein's work, followed by a little bit of a different take. And that was with the distinguished psychologist Yosi Amram. And Yosi is pioneering work in SI, not EI, SI, spiritual intelligence. It is a thought-provoking episode and one that is filled with leading with purpose, leading with authenticity, truly thought-provoking. It offers a fresh take on what it means to be a successful and a fulfilled leader. And along with this, I'd again encourage you to visit my website, mike-horne.com. Take a look at my two newest ebooks, one on building resilient organizations, one on thriving. These join other ebooks that are available to you, which offer various meditations on working and living and leading authentically. But this is a great place to start your journey, to continue your journey on the People Dividend, to join our movement, to think about how you can contribute in your team and in your organization, whether you're a novice HR leader, an aspiring HR leader, a seasoned HR leader, or a people and culture strategist, a coach, a consultant. A really great way to think about things is I was thinking about Rachel Lynn and coaching scientific leaders, which I do so much of, and engineering leaders. I was introduced to Rachel through a Genentech colleague, Cindy Miller, who was a guest on one of the earlier episodes of our podcast. And I'm eternally grateful for that colleagueship and that relationship. After Yosi Amram, the distinguished psychologist that we interviewed on spiritual intelligence, Jack Craven was our next guest, a veteran CEO Jack Craven. But he also talked about entrepreneurship, startup cultures, sharing lessons learned from his own experiential journey. Very powerful, very rich episode of the People Dividend on starting, scaling a business. Really a must listen for aspiring entrepreneurs. And we ended season 6 with Rhonda Moret on personal branding, career advancement. Rhonda's been a consultant to many sports franchises, and she offers what it means to have a strong personal brand and diversity, inclusion, but having the professional presence to advance and to grow and to develop a career. It's a great listen with Rhonda Moret. So again, I'm just so grateful for all of these guests on the People Dividend: Randy Ross, Lee Cordell, Sugey Piedra, Debra Boggs, Brad Smith, Jordan Tait, Martin Lespérance, Al Watts, Rachel Kindt, Jonathan Bennett, Dr. Richard Saphir, Steven Stein, Yosi Amram, Jack Craven, Rhonda Moret, Nicole Jackson, Bruno Cignacco, Alice Inoue, Nick Jain, Eileen McDargh, Alex Brueckmann. Quite a diverse list of episode guests spanning many aspects and facets of business and organizational life. So grateful to have all of these guests. You can find all of our podcasts on my YouTube channel, which I encourage you to visit. Leave a like, leave a comment. If you don't go to the YouTube channel and you're interested in some of the audio episodes, pick those up on our podcast page at mike-horne.com. Find us on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen. We're probably there. I really appreciate all that you do to support this podcast. I'm so looking forward to season 7. We have a great lineup of guests already. We operate every week, new insights. It's fresh, it's live, content designed to help you on your professional development journey, on your mission to bring your best to what you do, to help others do that. And season 7, we're really going to continue to dig into the People Dividend. what it means. I'm so excited about the launch of the People Dividend Leadership Strategies for Unlocking Potential later this fall, 2024. And so I hope you join me on this journey, because it's through your likes, your comments, your interaction. Again, visit me write to me at mike-horne.com. Let me know what you're thinking. I'd love to meet with you, offer you a free strategy session to talk about your goals and how I might help you achieve those as your executive coach or as a consultant to your team or organization. This is about elevating performance. It's about unlocking potential. I bring all of the credentials I have: a doctorate in organization development, training in immunity to change, and other aspects of positive intelligence coaching. So great to have you on this journey with me. As we wrap up season 6, as we look forward to season 7, we have a fresh lineup of inspiring guests. I'm going to continue to aim to deliver high quality programming content that helps you to grow personally and professionally. Always encourage you to reach out to me. Sign up for my exclusive content at mike-horne.com. I'm sure there's a way to sign up for a newsletter there. And then you'll really get some access to the exclusive content, further insights into our podcast, into our guests, and what they're doing. So I hope that you stay tuned for thought-provoking conversations, expert insights in season 7 of the People Dividend Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. And until the next time, let's keep investing in people and reaping the dividends. Stay well. I look forward to having you in our audience for season 7 of the People Dividend. Again, stay well. Let's reap the benefits. Let's join the movement to create great places to work and places where people do their best work. Thanks once again.